I thought I'd do a video real quick on this. This is a minn Kota 40-pound thrust stern mount trolling motor. So you mount this in the back of the boat. Good for, like, you know, little boat, canoe maybe, whatever. But bow mounts are very expensive. Not only do you need the mount itself, which I priced them at like $200 for on one on eBay, and that's a new one, not a used one. And to buy a trolling motor itself, fuck, you're looking at a pile of money. For, you know, I wouldn't buy a bow mount 40-pounder. I'd buy like a 50, at least 50, 80, something with some balls, you know. This little motor ain't bad. I got no complaints. But watch this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put I'm at Prince Blitzen State Park right now, Glendale Lake, and that would be Patton, by close to Patton, Pennsylvania, Coalport. I already took out 5 of the 6 screws for this. I don't know how this video is going to turn out, whether it's going to be upside down or what. But how about that? Okay, so I always keep my whistle. I don't lose the fucker right on the motor. Got to have some type of noise maker. You take the thing apart, take the screws out, take it apart. Very easy to do. Very, very easy. So I'll give you a shot at the internal workings. What you have there is a switch. That's your switch, forward and reverse. These 4 wires here, 2 for your power, 2 for your control, I do believe. They go down the shaft. And then you have the 2 wires in the front here for your battery hookup. So take it out, slide the handle off, pull your switch out, disconfigure all your wires, take a picture of the back of the switch so you know what it looks like when you take it apart. You have to take all the wires off. I could do this 100 times and I still have to reference the picture when I'm done. Goes red on the right, yeah, whatever. I'll have to look at the picture no matter what. My memory used to be a lot better. No. That's what it looks like down inside there. I just go around this clip. Go ahead and pull the wires out gently. It's just plastic. Yeah, because I have it's a Fisher Guide or something like that, front bow mount trolling motor. It's much older, from a boat that I used to have, and kind of bad. But you don't have to take your power wires all the way out of the case. Okay, so now you have a screw with a nut set in here. You take that bolt out. It's not a screw, it's a bolt. A 1024 bolt. Put a little bit of pressure down on the plastic housing so the thread will come all the way out. And you just wiggle it around a little bit, take the bolt out. Now, careful when you do this. There's a little nut that sits in there and molded into the housing, but the nut comes out. So what you do, and this is real easy, you really can't mess it up, because the handle forward, the props in the back. So when you twist forward, you're going forward from the back of the boat, not the front of the boat. Pull your wires out gently. Putting it back together is a lot more difficult than taking it apart. That I can show you. As far as dealing with these wires. You go housings free. So I keep an extra shear pin on here. These minn Kotas here, the plastics that they're made out of, they're meant to flex. I have taken this down rivers, really rocky rivers, on the back of the boat, and the thing's just boom, 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 boom. It's flexing like this. So they're pretty flexible, but little motors. I removed my spare shear pin, which that one's not brass. Looks like I cut off a drill bit. And brass must have kept breaking. If you're ever going to make a shear pin, use brass. Get a Lowe's, Tractor Supply. Get yourself brass dowel rod. Use that. This Allen key I have on here is how I hook it up to my rig on my little John boat. I have a 12-foot game fisher from Sears. It's like a 1973. Thing is ancient. My dad got it when I was like, I don't know, 8. He traded it for a steel weed whacker. Boy, that's a lot of tape. Since I don't have a roll on me. Alright, so now when you take off your mount, you gotta flip it over. The stop. And now since you flipped it all over, the stop will go at the top, not the bottom. Actually, I think they're always at the top, at the bottom, or at the top, no matter how you put it. I put this on when I flip. I had to flip it around the other day. I took a buddy with me, and that little John boat there's just not enough room when you have a bow mount in the front for 2 people, plus a bunch of gear and a cooler full of food and stuff like that. So I flipped it back around, put it in the back for whenever we went out fishing. So. Your mount will go on like that, upside down. Push your wires through. God, I love this park. There's nobody here. I'm having surgery in a couple of days, so I want to know I'll be bedridden for at least, at the very least, well, a solid week of nothing but bed. Another week of nothing but bed and house, and maybe I'll get lucky and I'll be able to go out on the 3rd week. Now it's upside down. So another thing too is when you flip the thing around, you can see right here how it dips like this. So you can't just put this on there, because what will happen is you won't be able to steer it. This bites to keep your depth, keep your motor at depth. So you won't be able to steer it if this thing is locked. You have to lock this one tight. The tensioner one, you don't want to have to use that to keep this thing from sliding up and down. So it hits into there. What I took is a piece of, I do believe like a piece of 1.25 inch PVC for a spacer. You don't have to deal with that nonsense. Drop that down. Put your lock back on. Now you have a bow mount. Now your handle is going to go backwards. Get your wires. Fish them up through. It's kind of cool that I didn't have to put different ends on these wires. They came with the slips. Not like they were on there, you know, solid. It could have been on there solid. That would suck. Next thing you do is put your nut back in the housing here. It just comes with a regular old nut. I replaced it with a stainless steel nylon block nut. Line up your hole. Wiggle it around a little bit. Make sure the wires aren't in the way. The wires can come up and out of there. Doesn't matter which side of the screw they're on. It doesn't matter. None of that shit matters. But I do try to keep 2 on one side, 2 on the other. You have all 4 of them on one side. Doesn't really matter. See? I pushed the nut out once I finally got the bolt through. The nut fell out, so it's something you definitely want to watch what you're doing. Damn it. First time I use a screwdriver. There you go. One. So I'm gonna pause this and look at that. It actually says I wouldn't pay no mind to it. It's actually labeled where it goes. It even says red, white. I always had to reference the picture. I never paid no mind to that. So it looks like we don't have to reference shit. I like it. That's some goobery shit there. That is funny. So there you go. I would still reference a picture. Why not? Can't hurt. Still take a picture of it. I would assume that you could do this with any stern mount. If you have like a 60 thrust or whatever, how many different thrusts they make. I don't know. My dad got me this one for Christmas like a long time ago. And when you're shore fishing a lot, fishing the shoreline, you gotta have a bow mount. I mean, once I switched this around, because I've never been on anybody else's boat and fished with a bow mount before, but you can clearly see when them guys are doing it. That's the shit. Especially when they're foot operations like that. I know the one I have is old school, where you push the pedal and cables actually move the motor. I would assume the new ones are all electronic. You would hope anyway. Not ready for that yet. Okay, so white, yellow. Sure them are on there good and tight. Good and tight. Good. Red. Where's my bat tick? It's black. Bat negative. Battery negative. Battery positive. And why am I for some reason forgetting? Something sits in there funky. Nope, it's definitely. That's what I mean. Putting it back together is just a little bit more difficult. It doesn't sit in there straight up and down like that, like you'd think it would. It sits in there sideways. sits in there just like this. Why are we giving me such a fucking hard time? It's because it goes like that. There we go. And once it does find its resting spot, you can see it just clicks right there, right in. And before you tighten the case screws down, like I said, I don't know how all these motors are, but before you put this as the cover back on and tighten them all down, I would hook it to a battery and check. Make sure your forward and reverse is forward and reverse and not flipped. If that's even possible, I don't know. I've never messed it up. So this is real easy. You can't mess it up. It's not a spline. It's got the like a stereo knob. It's got the flat side on it, so you can't mess putting it back to where it belongs. You can't mess that up. There we go. A little rubber garment. 1, 2, 3. Off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Off. It rolls nice. Case back on. Yeah, because I was getting ready to go out and buy the mount and I would end up drilling holes and having to TIG weld brackets on the aluminum boat and doing all kinds of craziness just to make that bow mount work. And it's a big ass mount. It's got like a 6-foot shaft on it. Close to it, 4 foot. It's a lot longer than this one. So I did end up jerry rigging how I hooked it to the boat. Because in John boats, they're not like flat in the front. They're just an itty bitty little seat that's reverse facing. And then you have like a 4-inch lip, and then the front of the boat goes, it's like flat, and then it goes like that. So what I did is I took a piece of treated 6x6, centered it all up on the seat. Went to we'll find it in a minute. I went to Shitbag Lowe's, got myself some 8-inch carriage head bolts, a piece of treated 2x6, which it fit perfectly level. You lay the 2x6 down, or the 6x6 down on the seat like this. Get your 2x6 or 2x6, 2x8, whatever you got. About 2 foot long piece. Lay it down. Stand on it. Clamp it, whatever you got. Drill 4 holes. Put your bolts down. Bolt it down, and then the front. I took 2 long stainless steel number 3 screws and put 2 in the front in the aluminum. And it's magical, man. It works perfect. When you're in that little boat by yourself, I can stand up and walk around on it, back and forth from the back to the front, stand on seats and fish. Even on fast-moving rivers, I can stand up and move around. I've been doing it for a long time on that boat, so I'm really good at it. If you don't have any experience doing stuff like that, I highly suggest you wear a life jacket. These little trolling motors, they don't have like a pull cord kill switch or something on like a gas engine does. So if you're on fast moving water, I highly suggest being careful. That's the one I'm missing. Now where the fuck did it go? Wow, 20 fucking minutes. You get the idea. I'm not shortening it up. I don't edit. I'm just, maybe there's somebody out there that can't afford a bow mount and would like to know that. I'll pause it and then show you what it looks like on the front of the boat. Okay, there you go. One bow mount trolling motor. You know what I mean by the 6x6 carriage heads? The 6x6 treated, and then a piece of 2x6 treated, and then down through the seat. And you could stand right on that wood and everything, and it's good and strong. I did take a piece like I did here with to reinforce the handles and the tow hook. A piece of strut. I put a piece of strut across the bottom too, just where the lip's at, like right along the edge there. And then I ran a piece of this wire. Drill a hole right there. Put yourself one of them rubber garments around it so don't cut into your wire, because you will have a short eventually. It will rub that casing off that wire. And then my batteries are underneath the seat. Like this, like this boat's old, and I did all this a long time ago. I got a compartment in there, 2 dry bins and batteries in the middle. You could put either a real big deep cycle in there, or I've been using 2 of these little guys, wired in series or parallel, whatever the fuck it's called. So it works awesome. Like I say, it's not even worth me going out and trying to buy a bow mount. No, not for this boat. Not when I have this. And that handle actually extends about a foot out of there, which is, if you have one of these motors, you know what I mean. So you can actually stand right here and control it with your hand while you're fishing. It's still one-handed, but hell, if you can't fish with one hand, then there's something wrong with you. So, there's the lake, Glendale Lake. That's facing north. Here's the dam. I'm staying at the campground. Grew up in this campground. But also, while I'm thinking about it, I got lucky this tree's right here. It's just a little too shallow on the shore. That's my new Hankai 6 horsepower 2-stroke. You know, a lot of people are wondering about them engines. I tell you right now, I love it. I used to have like a 1960 Sea King on the back. It was a 7 horsepower 2-stroke. And boy, that thing gave me nothing but nightmares. It ran I used it, but that is every bit worth the $600 to $700 you'll pay for it. I promise you that. It's an awesome little motor. I get, with just me in the boat and my fishing gear, 3 batteries, 1 for the fish finder, 2 for the trolling motor, cooler full of food and a couple drinks in there, big tackle box, 4 rods. I move at about 15 to 17 miles an hour, depending on which way the wind's blowing. It's a great little motor. Can't complain at all. It's got the fuel tank on it and everything. A little lake like this, you get one of them little Coleman fuel canisters that'll hold about a 1/4 gallon or a 1/2 gallon or so, and they seal up. You fill them all the way up and you seal them up, screw down the lid. You don't want to make, so there's no air in it so they can't explode underneath the seat. I have one of them underneath the seat, and that's emergency gas that fills that tank up halfway. It's just enough to get me back from wherever I'm going. So I can go from about 3 miles up to the marina, all the way down to the dam, about a mile up that finger, all the way back to the dam, all the way up to the marina, and then from the marina back here, and still have some gas left. I highly suggest those little motors. But the other day, me and my buddy were on the Allegheny River by Pittsburgh, and the water was up about 2 feet. All the fishing gear, 6 rods, big cooler full, all kinds of drinks, water, all kinds of stuff like that. Plus I weigh about, well, right now about 170. He's about 190, 180. Against the current, I would say we did 6 miles an hour. Still ain't too bad. But that current was flowing, boy. I promise you that. And this boat's been down the rivers and everything else. It's all scratched up and dented on the bottom and caved in some spots, and a couple bolts, studs sticking out of the bottom to fix where the rivets popped out, and some sealant and stuff. So it's not exactly streamlined on the bottom. But put that little motor on a rubber raft or something, it'd probably book, man. Like I say, I'm not editing this. If you watched the whole thing, hey, congratulations. Hope you learned something. Thanks for watching it.